I'm going to have a look here at this brand new kit by Trumpeter, which is the AH-64A Apache Early model in 1/35 scale. Like, there's been a whole slew of Apaches came out recently. There's one by Takom and Mang, and they do all of the late model. Get my cat out of the way here. They do all of the late model Apaches. They do the Ds and like the upgraded Ds and the Es, which I guess the Es are export, and they're all like brand new, top of the line, current Apaches. But the A is actually the one I'm kind of most interested in, and I wanted to see how this kit stacks up to the Mang releases. I don't know if Mang or Takom plan on releasing an early version in the future. I don't know if they will or not, but we'll see what Trumpeter has to offer. And the Trumpeter kit comes in quite a bit cheaper. It's about $30–40 cheaper than what the other two are, and they're all in 1/35 scale. So I haven't opened it. I just cut the little tape that holds the box, but I haven't actually looked in the box at all so far. So we'll have a look and see what the box shows us here. Various like a cockpit and the gun, and it looks like we have the open electronics bay and engine in that. I believe the other two kits, both the Mang and Takom kit, both feature fully opening details. And then our weapons, pretty much standard for the Apache. I mean, what else are you gonna really put on there? So here's the side. I guess I should say it's kit number 05114. And we've got a couple of decal options. It doesn't really say what they are, it just shows us here. I want to do mine as the first Gulf War Apache because that's what I have the most interest in, but I'll have to do more research if these are actually like first Gulf War markings or not. And they show our weapons here in their decal sheet, and we've got photo etch seat belts and whatnot. So I will open it and see what we get here. It comes in a pretty beefy box, but it's not that huge. So it might take me a second to open it. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way. And we have our little like promotional sheet here, which shows us again all the little features and some information on the Apache. And then an upcoming vehicle here, 1/72nd scale. This vehicle here I think is a Vietnam era, if it says here. Anyways, like it says a fall 88 this vehicle was used, but I think this vehicle dates back to Vietnam. Kind of an interesting subject, and you can see the detail in 1/72nd scale. It's got an interior for anyone who's interested. So this is I can tell this is quite a bit different than the Mang and Takom releases. Is you've got one full piece fuselage, but man, it looks really decent. You can see the amount of detail in here. It doesn't have raised rivets. It's got recessed lines and recessed rivets in here. Not sure how well it'll show up in the plastic, but there's no real raised rivets. I mean, whether you like that or not. You can see the detail on here. The details look pretty good. And various little bits in the tail planes. And I'll see if there's anything inside. So there is some interior detail, like just padding inside here. So it's interesting how it has this frame here, how it's built in there. Usually this is a clear piece. So that's our main sprue. And then we'll move on to the rotors. And they look pretty good. It's interesting they put them all on one sheet. Let's see here. And the detail inside these, the engine there, I guess, the doors. And we have our cockpit area here. Really nice detail on the instruments there. You see more of that like padding type material, and the detail inside here, which is kind of a different way of doing it than the other two kits. And the main gun here, and it looks like it sort of has an open muzzle on the gun. It might just need a little bit of cleanup, because obviously that's the prominent part on the Apache. So I would say the cockpit is pretty nice. And we'll move on to the winglets and the engines. You can see the fine details there. And no raised rivets. The details are raised, but there's no raised rivets, if that's your thing or not. And again, inside the engine bay there is detailed. We'll move on to the avionics, the little bays here. So it looks like it opens on both sides. There are various little pieces here, and not too much detail there on the inside. And let's see what we've got here. This is our weapons sets here, I guess. We've got our engines and seats and weapons. Looks like a mirror set of sprues here. I don't really want to open this just yet, but you've got your missiles, your Hellfire missiles, and the rocket pods are held in this protective like foam here. I'm not really sure why they've been doing that lately with a lot of their kits, but you can see the detail for the rocket pods, like they're all latched in there. So the detail looks pretty good on that. And I guess I'll go into, this must be our clear parts. I'll open the clear parts because it's kind of important that we see what they look like. Just get them out here. Okay, so we've got, they look very, very clear. Very clear. And then you've got the multiple doors here. Interesting way of breaking them up, but they look nice. And then all of your, I guess these are the seeker heads and various other little bits in there. And the canopy does, it appears to sort of bubble out just a slight amount. I'm assuming that's like the real thing. I don't think it protrudes too much, but you can see it is in there, like sort of bubbles out a little bit. Very nice glass work. Unfortunately though, we have rubber wheels, which is a big drawback. I mean, they're okay, but I would probably try and replace them with resin, but I mean, they kind of just are what they are. And they don't look like anything fancy too. There's just a basic tread on them. We'll have a look at our photo etch set here. Very basic photo etch, so if you're not a fan of photo etch, this is probably a good kit for you. Let's see, and we have here So we have our decal, and we also get a mask. I'm going to open these. So we get a mask for the glasswork, which is really nice. I'm glad they did that. It's kind of a weird texture to this mask. Not sure if I've seen another mask like that where it's really rough. Kind of strange, but so we do get a mask. And I'm assuming it's pre-cut. It's just very hard to tell on there because you could see the indentations here. And our decals, which are like our typical trumpeter. I'd replace them if you can, but they're not the worst in the world. And you can use decals for your instruments in the cockpit. This one might be good to cut these out individually and put them in, but I'd probably paint that myself. Pretty extensive stencil work on there. And then we have our instructions. So it's quite a thick book. We've got, it says 16, oh, okay, I'll remove that. So it says 16 steps, which isn't a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, that's all it is, 16 steps. So you have your various armaments and work-throughs here for the engines. And various little bits here. The gear and the inside. In the cockpit, it doesn't look like you can see various options they're trying to show you, and it doesn't look too much involved with it really. It's just that it's in a like a large scale. And here's our weapons fit here, which is pretty much just going to be standard. And then we have our paint guide, which is calling for olive drab H-304 for Mr. Hobby and XF62 in Tamiya color. So we've got our various ones there, and you can see here. Doesn't really tell us where they're from or anything, but they're interesting schemes. And our paint guide for the weapons. So this kit looks excellent. I think for the price it's excellent, and compared to the Mang ones and Takom, they might build a little easier. They're put together, like the way they go together is a little different, but this kit looks great. I would not put this one off. You get the mask. It looks like a minimal amount of work. So anyways, this is the Trumpeter AH-64A Apache Early model in 1/35th scale. So thank you for watching.
I want you to pay special attention to him.
It's beautiful in an ugly kind of way. Somebody called it a flying race car with guns, but that's bullshit. It's not that simple. Here. Put your hands here, here, and there. Put your feet here, 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 and here, and here. Do not step here or there. That's it. Crawl right on in there, lad. Riding in the gunner seat of this aircraft at 150 knots through the treetops is like having your ass strapped to the nose of a bullet. Basically, you will be flying like a bat out of hell. You will be shooting at the enemy. You will be jinking around, dodging bullets and missiles and rocks and arrows and spears and ducks and geese.
Sounds like a full-time job.
Boy, you're going to be busy as a three-peckered goat.